So hello, welcome back to Go Again Gaming and the league that means absolutely nothing here on the channel. I am your creator of the league, the inceptor, the initiative starter, I guess. But sometimes I like to do a little bit of casting here and there, where I can fit it in. I'm going to be doing Dash.io, which is piloted by Andrew Mason, a member of Team Turd, another team that I set up, against Daniel Gomez on Riptide. Now, it's been great seeing Andrew play Dash.io. He's been a Dash stan for as long as I can remember. A long-time patron of the channel as well, so thanks for your support over the years. Yeah, very much a Dash inventor extraordinaire player. Has now adopted Dash.IE as well as a deck of choice, and yeah, really learning it really well. And it's weird because I think Dash would be a deck I would enjoy because of the whole look at the top card of your deck at any time. The lines that then are crafted as a result of that are quite similar to how Azalea can opt and then craft her lines as well. So, but yeah, it's just time, isn't it? But anyway, Riptide, I think, has a bit of game into Dash. There is a lot of go again in Dash, a lot of go wide things, and Riptide can trigger a lot of the traps there on the on things like Frailty Trap and Collapsing Trap, and the other ones that care about go again. Is it Tar Pit Trap? So yeah, Riptide does have a lot of pingable traps that you can sort of trigger. There is a few traps in there which won't really work that well though, because I don't think Dash really buffs her attacks that much, and that's one of the other major things that Riptide cares about, and reactions as well. But be interesting to see how it goes. I think Daniel's Riptide has been a very resource light list. A lot of zero cost arrows in there, really taking making the most of the play the buff, reload from Riptide, then fire a zero cost. So making use of those smaller hands as well after you've potentially blocked with traps on the turn before is a pretty good strategy with Riptide. The Trench of Sunken Treasure as well. Obviously, it's a Ranger card, but it has a Pirate on it, so make sure you pick those up. I think they've been going up in price recently because of high seas. But enough spiel. Let's get back to the game. Let's hear a message from one of our sponsors first. And also, I just want to... TCG Talk, Dylan from TCG Talk, gave me this idea of asking for donations. So if you enjoy this content and you want to see it continue, then look at this PayPal link here and just send me, like, maybe whatever you want. No more than sort of $10 or whatever. But any contribution helps. Thank you to all the sponsors that have sponsored this league. Hopefully we can get some more next time, and thanks to all the patrons as well on Patreon who support me and the work that I do here, because this editing job takes a long time. I will be asking for collaborators on the League That Means Nothing Season 4. Yes, there will be a Season 4, but hopefully it's going to be based around a team of people rather than just me, but it will still be televised on Go Again Gaming. So that's the plans. Let's get down to this game. The League That Means Nothing Season 3 is brought to you in part by Green Tree Sports Cards out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's right, the Yinzers have shown up en masse to support this league that means absolutely nothing. Make sure you go and check them out at greentreesc.tcgplayerpro.com for a variety of TCG events and singles and product, including this favourite card game of ours, Flesh and Blood trading card game, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic. These guys are also the ones behind Camp Green Tree as well, so make sure you go and check them out on all the socials and keep up to date with some more amazing events coming down the line. We'll see you soon. Let's get back to the tournament. So it looks like Andrew is going first, repping those fantastic Team Turd sleeves, which are available in the Team Turd Discord, if you remember. Playing a Zipper Hit, banishing a Throttle, coming in for 4 with Go Again. And I've just realised when I edited this video, I have put Andrew's board state in reverse. Never mind, even Az makes mistakes sometimes, but... Riptide is going to leak 1 damage here. Obviously, both heroes starting on lesser health because of their inherent hero abilities and card synergies and all that. Andrew is following up with an Outpace coming in for 4, boosting another Throttle. It's coming in for 4 with Go Again. Cannot be defended by equipment. And of course, Andrew has got the Hanabi Blaster as well. So obviously, the more boosting he does, the the more counters that's going to get, and that can be a massive chain ender for 5 on the end of a combat chain, which is good to know. But Daniel just blocking with the Stone Rain, taking another damage. So Andrew ending his turn with the Teklo Core. Pretty good turn then. Able to throw a couple of pings at Daniel and establish a Teklo Core for next turn is pretty sick. I think that's a pretty good turn 1. Leaking some damage and establishing an item which will propel you and gas you up for the next turn. So Andrew just drawing up. And that mat that Andrew's using there, the Go Again Gaming mat, was my 1,000 subscribers celebration mat. So that's nice. Daniel using the Premeditate to reload a bolt and shot through Riptide's ability, and then firing in a bolt and shot for 7, which is threatening that Ponder on hit as well as a reload on hit here. So as I was mentioning at the top of the show, Riptide's ability to play a buff, reload a card without even using the bow is something that people build around inherently, right? Sometimes not even trap-based. You can have a few traps in there, but a lot of people do like to use Riptide and the Ranger suite to just be able to reload off of playing a card from hand and then using the bow. Just gives you a little bit of extra redundancy to get arrows into your arsenal, which is always good. Azalea using a lot of take aims these days, a card that was been in and out of lists over the last few years, but yeah, take aim really coming back into flavour now with the recent list. But we're not talking about Azalea, of course. I'll go on a slight tangent there, but Daniel still coming in for 7 with Go Again. Andrew looking to just take all of this damage here. So Daniel is going to get a Ponder token. And then he's going to lace a card with Blood Rot. Doesn't have any resources, but he does have a Codex. There we go. So this is exactly it, right? There's no resources here for Daniel to use, but because he's using a resource light list with a lot of 0-cost arrows, he's able to capitalise on that Codex on the Chain Ender on this turn, which is pretty savage. And obviously this Searing Shot is going to be coming in for 7, plus the on-hit of the Loser Life, plus the on-hit of Blood Rot, so that is pretty savage. Daniel's going to have 2 Ponders. It looks like Andrew is just deciding what card he wants to put back in his arsenal, because obviously the Codex is still resolving. But yeah, Searing Shot with a Blood Rot behind it is a massive value arrow, really. A lot of damage for no cost, which is great. And coupled with the Codex value, it's just pretty insane to see this go off. Strong start from Riptide. And Andrew probably with the board state of the Teklo Core on board, and probably doesn't really care about the damage. Probably just happy to just try and get back into this game through sheer race, especially with those resources that are hanging around off of the Teklo Core. Probably going to want to have to use those as soon as possible offensively to get back into this. Andrew also running the Arcanite Skullcap, which he is going to use actually now because he's on lesser life. A pretty decent card, really, all round. I used it in my Riptide list in the Season 2, and I did manage to get a lot of the full block value out of it. And I did have some life mitigation in that list with like Scar for Scars and stuff. So I was actively trying to drop below my opponent sometimes. But Andrew is going to take that damage. He should have taken an extra 1 from the Searing Shot trigger, losing a life. But there we go. That's how it is. Never mind. So Andrew blocked 2 on the Skullcap, and then took 4 when he should have took an extra 1 from the Searing Shot, I think. But there we go. Never mind. So Teklo Core is going to give off some resources here, which is going to fuel Andrew's turn, no doubt. He's going to activate Dash IO to put something into play, which is a Cerebellum Processor, which is pretty sick. So that's going to cost 1 resource because off of Dash's ability. And obviously that comes in at instant speed, so Andrew still has the action point. And what he can do now as well is potentially crank this to give himself 2 action points. Because he hasn't used his normal action point yet, but if he wants to play the crank on this, he can then give himself another action point. And that's quite important for Riptide, because those action points don't mean go again. Unless, of course, you boost, then it would gain go again. But I don't see why you would if you're But he's not choosing to crank. He's just going to boost away 0 to 60, coming in for 3. Boosting away another 0 to 60. So 3 with go again. So this is playing into some Riptide's traps here, like Frailty Trap, Tar Pit Trap, Collapsing Trap. There's quite a few traps that Riptide has access to that care about if something has go again, plus the crew traps, which will trigger anyway. But this is an inertia trap. This is something that does not trigger, because obviously the power does not have greater than its base, so it's just blocking out that first 0 to 60. And now Andrew's playing another one, coming in for 2. The blue version. So yeah, inertia traps. Now this is a good one. Collapsing Trap, that's a good one. So that's going to ping Andrew for 1 damage. And going to have to discard his hand and then draw that many -1. He's only got the 1 card in hand, so he's going to have to discard that. And that is a Boom Grenade, yellow one. So that's gone to the bin. Andrew still has 1 resource floating. Could pump that into the Teklo Foundry. But nope, it's just going to come in with an Outpace for 1. That's going to be boosting away a Fast and Furious, which is pretty good, because that will trigger. So he can put a Steam counter on an item he controls with Crank. Just putting it on the Cerebellum Processor, which makes complete and utter sense. And the Hanabi Blaster should be getting a counter, I believe. It's 3, isn't it? 3 boosts, then you get the Hanabi Blaster counter. I think that's how that works, if I remember correctly. It's a great card, though. There we go. He's put it on now. Lovely. Yeah, it's a fantastic card, Hanabi Blaster. Really, really paying off that boost strategy, and coming in with a massive 5 attack on the end is absolutely sick. I remember the what was the plasma barreled shotgun? That was fun, but we haven't seen that for years. We have not seen the plasma barrel shotgun for years. And Andrew just ending his turn, drawing a card off of Cerebellum Processor to just fill his arsenal back up, basically taking 2 damage from the Blood Rot Pox, not paying for that. That's another use for Cerebellum, is you can just boost and boost and boost and boost, and obviously with the last go again action point that you've generated, you can pay it into the Cerebellum to arsenal a card again. So that's pretty cool. So Andrew not off of Arsenal, even though having to discard to Collapsing Trap, still able to have Arsenal available because of Cerebellum is pretty good. So we are seeing the Trench be used to fuel the Dreadbore, and then come in with a Bolt and Shot for 4 with Go Again. Obviously this is up to 4 now from a 3, because Dreadbore puts an arrow in with +1. So Dreadbore is really, really cool with Bolt and Shots, because it always turns them on, whether you have buffs or not. And obviously threatens other things and reloads on the back end. So that's going to hit. Andrew just happy to take that damage. And he's following up with another Codex of Frailty here. Luckily, because of the Cerebellum Processor, Andrew does have an arsenal now, so he doesn't have to discard a card from hand. So that's good. So Cerebellum saved him from that. So that's good passage of play. And now Daniel just coming in with a Searing Shot for 4. On hit, lose 1 life. And I think we forgot the 1 life trigger last time. But we are seeing the equipment be thrown under the bus here to prevent this. Which seems to me that Andrew just capitalising on the skull cap. Get the value out of that. So that 3 value on the skull cap has been utilised correctly. Which is good. The old classic skull cap. We've got the heavy industry duty legs down there. I can't remember for the life of me what they do off the top of my head without researching it. And then we've also got the adaptive plating as well, which is also a very, very good card. If you've got an item stuck around in play which doesn't have a steam counter on it or something, you can actually galvanise it to then give the adaptive plating more defence. So you can actually block more of that as well, which is pretty good. But we are seeing the Teklo Core jam itself to the graveyard and get 2 resources. And Andrew does have a 4-card hand here, so that's why he's taking so much damage, is to maybe crack back as massively as possible here. So playing a Boom Grenade from Arsenal. Looks like we are going to be cranking it to get that action point back, which is pretty good. Obviously that's going to go at the start of Andrew's next turn if he doesn't blow someone up with it this turn. Boom Grenade is just so sick, though, isn't it? It just makes everything even more of a threat when it comes in. And especially if you're playing cards like this. I mean, come on. A T-Bone for 1. I mean, this is where you're incentivized to block with one of your equipments that actually do block, because normally you just chuck snappies in front of this because it blocks for nothing and doesn't blow itself up. But here we see the sharpshooters being chucked under the bus here because of that boom grenade behind it. And that definitely makes sense. And Andrew coming in after this with a yellow 0 to 60, boosting away a Pulse Wave Harpoon. So this is coming in for 3 with Go Again, obviously threatening the boom grenade behind it as well. And Andrew really just throwing out a lot of blues and yellows right now is still a massive threat because of that boom grenade. So that's really, really cool how that boom grenade looming over this board state will turn your other blue and yellow cards into bigger threats, which is always good. And now we're coming in with a zipper hit. And that's going to be coming in for 3. Again, another blue card. So again, another blue card, which is threatening a lot of damage. Really interesting how the boom grenade can really give extra value to all those blues and yellows. But yeah, again, we're seeing another block here from hand with a drill shot. So that's blocked as well. Obviously, this does have Go Again because we did boost it. And obviously, the Hanabi Blaster has got another counter on it as well. We are seeing Andrew activate Dash.io again for another Teklo core. So he's just going to be gassing himself senseless throughout this entire game. Seen both of those Teklo cores early. And obviously, that is an instant speed as well. So he still can go again after this, with the action point off of the zipper hit. See what he's got left in the tank. Boom Grenade is still looming here. And Riptide holding a 3-card crackback after this. Riptide's done well to stem and prevent that boom grenade from going off. He's not going to have to deal with it next turn because it is going to go, because Andrew did crank it, so there's no steam counters left on it. So when it begins Andrew's turn, it is going to go away. However, now that Andrew is on the defense, he can use the boom grenade as a galvanized target for the adaptive plating, which is very, very cool. And we are just seeing Riptide throw a 7, and that's what Riptide can do with a lot of 0-cost buffs and arrows. Can just play a buff and then fire an arrow from Arsenal if there's one established already, or you can play a buff, reload, fire the arrow. So pretty good stuff. Big life lead and still threatening an on-hit of drilling down Andrew's armor and shuffling away Andrew's hand and Arsenal at the end of his turn. So yeah, that card advantage going away, stemming the onslaught that Dash is protruding upon Daniel right now. But this is coming in for 7. And Andrew hovering over the adaptive plating, and that definitely makes sense because obviously the boom grenade, you might as well try and galvanize that to try and get some value out of that boom grenade. And that's a cool interaction as well. Boom grenade being used as an offensive and defensive tool here, being galvanized or potentially galvanized to the adaptive plating. And that definitely feels like the right decision here to use that now, get some value off of this boom grenade. And that adaptive plating is going to go up to 3 block. So it's going to go up to 3 block. And Andrew's going to take 4 damage here. And the drill shot is going to come through. Oh, okay. Right. Yeah, so Andrew, looking at the equipment here, could have blocked with this. I think that's what they're discussing now. Yeah, Daniel allows Andrew to block the chest afterwards. So yeah, it makes sense for Andrew to block with the chest as well there, because yeah, it's going to get a drill counter on it anyway, right? So yeah, so he took 3 instead of that 4. But he does have an inertia token, so he's going to have to utilise all cards here to make sure that he can get the most out of everything. Teklo Core is going to tick down, as is the Cerebellum Processor, and we are going to get 2 resources with a 5-card hand. Dash is going to continue the onslaught into Daniel. Does Daniel start seeing traps now? We are going to see a yellow boom grenade. That's most likely going to be cranked as well. Is it going to be cranked? Or did you play it off of Dash? I wasn't looking. Now we see a 0 to 60 come in. 4 boosting away another Fast and the Furious. Wow, okay. Getting some really, really good value out of boosting off of the Fast and Furious this game. Just ticking up those Steam counters constantly, keeping those crucial items around. And he's choosing to put another Steam counter on the Cerebellum Processor so he can keep that card draw going. 4 with Go Again. Obviously got a yellow boom grenade behind this as well. 2 resources floating. A boom grenade must have been cranked then. Right? Doesn't have Go Again, does it? Boom grenade? I must have missed something there. Leave a comment in the section below. Yeah, it doesn't have Go Again. So I'm not sure what I've missed there, but there we go. Frailty Trap. So here we go. There's a couple of Riptide traps coming in now. Going to ping Andrew for 1, give him a Frailty. So Andrew now plagued twice with Inertia and a Frailty. Looks like going to be taking 1 from the attack itself, and then 3 from the boom grenades. That equals 4. So Daniel taking 4 damage there. We are seeing the T-Bone come in, boosting away a BIOS update. This is coming in for 3 with Go Again. Blocking with the Snapdragon Scalers. See T-Bone forcing an equipment onto the combat chain. That's a great thing about Snappies, is that you can put this on and it won't do anything to it, which is always good. So it protects your key pieces. We are going to see a dash activation here. Ripping an item off of the top at instant speed. It is a boom grenade red. Okay, so Dash playing the attack reaction game here. So 3 is going to not be blocked by Daniel. And he's going to take another 4 from boom grenade. So that's going to take 7 then. So he's going to crank that as well to gain another action point. So he's now on 2 action points left because of the boost resolving. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So cranking it out before damage is taken. It's pretty sick. But yeah, Daniel's going to take all that damage there, down to 22. Dash having 2 action points here. Andrew just taking a look at the top card of the deck, see what is coming. And it's cool because it gives you a little bit of foresight as to what's coming next, right? So information is pretty good in Flesh and Blood. I mean, it's not as valuable as I've maybe evaluated in the past, but knowing what's coming is always good. Cool, and that looks like the end of that action point at least. So Andrew using the Teklo Foundry Heart to boost away a Heist and a 0 to 60 to gain another 2 resources. Look at the top card again. It's a 0 to 60 by the looks of it. So Andrew still maintaining a lot of attacks at the moment. Coming in with a Heist, paying the 2, and that's coming in for 5 with Go Again because of the boost. This is insane turn. Absolutely insane. Still has the Cerebellum Processor as well, still has the action point because the action point is still getting refreshed from the Go Again. So Andrew still has a spare action point that he can throw into the Cerebellum Processor as well. So this is pretty nasty. That's a great thing about boosting away cards and having a look at the top card of your deck, is that you can, if you've got all these action points available to you, you can pretty much sculpt what you want to draw because of Cerebellum Processor if you've got extra action points. That's the cool thing about this. It looks like there's a pulse wave harpoon on top by the looks of it, which is going to be quite a lot of cards that you can reveal if he does manage to get that pulse wave. It looks like you can draw it from this cerebellum processor. He is hovering over the decision here, and that's exactly what he's going to be doing. Drawing that pulse wave harpoon, which can be played. What an insane turn here by Dash. Again, being able to look at the top card. When you've got that many resources, that many action points, being able to look at the top card of your deck at any time is so good when you can sculpt it through things like Boost, through things like Cerebellum Processor. And a Sprocket Rocket coming in. Sorry, it might have been a Sprocket Rocket then, not a Pulse Wave Harpoon that I saw on top. Or maybe that's just the card from hand. But yeah, there's the additional action point being used, but from the Cerebellum. But still coming in with a boost, which allows this to go again. So Andrew's still threatening more things. Still threatening the Hanabi Blaster as well. Daniel just taking this damage to the face. And here we see, hovering over the Hanabi Blaster. There it is. Coming in for 5 with Overpower. Sorry, 4 because of the Frailty token. Wow. So that is a big swing in life there. Obviously, the Hanabi Blaster still has another Steam counter on it from the amount of boosting Andrew has done this turn as well. So, wow, that's pretty sick. And he's going to pitch away the Teklo Pounder to pay for the Blood Rot, I think. Oh, no, sorry, no, it was shuffled to the bottom of the deck because of inertia. So he put it back under his deck because of the inertia trigger. So that makes sense. And now over to Daniel's turn here. He's going to use the Trench to generate a resource and gain. Use the Trench to generate a resource from the arsenal. Going to use the Seek and Destroy, reload from Riptide's ability, and then fire an Endless Arrow for 7. So again, utilising these 2-card hands through the reload effect, through Dreadbore, through the Trench of Sunken Treasure. Pretty good stuff. And Trench is an interesting card, especially in the context of High Seas, because obviously it says put a card from your arsenal at the bottom of your deck, gain a resource. I think in High Seas there's probably going to be more arsenal zones that you can use similar to this. I called it the booty zone on the socials, but I think there might be something to do with like loot or plunder or treasure that you manifest as a second arsenal zone that you get from maybe plundering your opponents. And then obviously you can use those treasures or loot that you found to maybe generate resources or +1 or plus 1 defense, +1 attack, all that sort of stuff. I reckon that could be a good theory. But yeah, we are seeing Andrew just block the whole thing here. You're not having an Endless Arrow. You're not having a Seek and Destroy trigger. I'm just going to block it all. We'll see what we can do here, because Andrew's only got the 1 card in hand. We'll see the Teklo Core is going to go away now, generate 2 resources on its way out. What can Andrew do with these 2 resources? Look at the top card of the deck at any time, of course, and play out a backup Protocol Red. He's going to crank it. This is cool. So, because of the Teklo Core, he's able to play out the backup Protocol Red, use it, because you crank it first of all, then use the resources that he's generated off of the Teklo Core to get something back to hand, and of course that could be a 0-cost card. Yep, just a 0 to 60, which he's then going to play, boost, get himself go again, and then use that Cerebellum Processor to fill his arsenal. That is insane line. So fair play and kudos to Andrew for being able to pilot this deck after being such a stan for -IE. -IO doing some great work for him. And again, boosting away a zipper hit. And of course, Andrew knew what that was because he looked at it with Dash. And now we can use the Cerebellum Processor with the go again to fill the arsenal back up, which is pretty sick stuff. 0 for 4 at this stage is nothing to be sniffed at. But we are going to ping Andrew for 1 through the Tar Pit Trap. So they're both going to take 1 here as a result of this trade. Andrew happy with that, though. Just to block, save a load of life next turn, and then just throw a 0 for 4, refill the arsenal is great. So that's awesome. Good play there from Andrew. That's back over to Daniel. He's going to start with a Ravenous Rabble, revealing a yellow bolt and shot, but I think by the looks of it, so that's coming in for 3 with go again. I think it was a yellow bolt and shot on top. A little bit of glare on that side of the screen, so I'm not entirely sure, but it looks like a yellow. No, it was a red, so Andrew just taking 4, going down to life parity here. And we are seeing a line it up be pitched into Dreadbore. That's going to leave 1 resource floating. Oh, okay, we're just going to pass. Yeah, so Daniel just opting to filter that line it up away to maybe draw some other cards instead. So not a great hand there by the looks of it from Daniel's side of things. So maybe he's just trying to operate on a trap basis now, potentially. Just blocking out. Because Andrew's deck has been through a lot. As you can see there, the Graveyard and the Banished Zone are basically on par with the deck size. So maybe Daniel's perspective has shifted in this game and just wants to think like, right, okay, need to make use of Riptide's defensive abilities here. But this Boom Grenade is going to make it hard. But if you are on the defensive plan anyway, it's okay, I guess. You want to try and block out all the damage. Make sure that Andrew can't get any value off of this Boom Grenade. But this is going to be a big attack from Andrew this time, rather than a wide attack, coming in with a BIOS update. So next attack action card you boost will get +3. And if you boost an item, you can put it into play. So basically Andrew turning into Data Doll for the turn here, which is pretty good. And coming in with a red T-Bone for 6. Boosting away a penetration script, which is an item. Wow, okay, nice. That's coming in for 7 now then. Oh, that makes it a little bit more difficult. And that penetration script, that's pretty cool. Your mechanologist attack action cards get +1. So like a little rain razors almost for mech, which lasts 2 turns. I haven't seen that be played too much. But very, very relevant here as it turns the T-Bone into a breakpoint. Just asking 2 cards from Daniel, or maybe a collection of equipment as well, to stop this from going through. The Boom Grenade is disgusting here. We are seeing the Trench be used in response to gain a resource. And then we are just going to chuck the Trench under this. So that's 1 being blocked at the moment. And then we're going to chuck in 2 3 blocks as well. Interesting. So covering that up with 2 cards. Making sure that Boom Grenade does not go through. Does have go again. It looks like a Pulse Wave Harpoon in hand. He's only boosted the once this turn, but you can look at the top card of the deck to see if there's any items you can rip off the top with dash, if needed. This is where it starts getting a little bit scary, because Riptide still having a large deck there. We are going to pitch a Sprocket Rocket into the Teclo Foundry Heart. So that's going to boost away a Zipper Hit and Pulse Wave Harpoon. And gain 2 resources. Look at the top card again. Looks like a T-Bone on top. And now we see the Pulse Wave come in for 4, boosting away a T-Bone. It's going to come in for 4. Sorry, 5, because of the penetration script. It's pretty good. Looks like Bolt and Shot and New Horizon being used here to block this 5. Daniel should have revealed the hand though, right? Or revealed X cards from hand. Yeah, well, there's only 1 boost, wasn't there? So And we are going to see a dash activation, bringing out an optical monocule. Because why not? It's another card that allows you to craft the top card of your deck as well. So that's interesting to include. We've seen a lot of that this game. Andrew just using the optical monocule now at instant speed. Sorry, at action speed with Go Again. Just to craft the top of the deck to see what he wants to potentially bring into play with Dash or Boost Away or draw from Cerebellum. Because obviously the Pulse Wave does have Go Again. It's going to draw a card. And that's going to be it. So he's going to be able to fill his arsenal with that card that he just drew. Boom Grenade, again, is not going to be going through here, because it's going to disappear at the start of Andrew's turn. Over to Riptide, both still on 9 life all. We are going to see a Codex be played. And again, the Cerebellum protecting Andrew's arsenal from the Codex discard is pretty cool. And we know that Daniel's got a lot of zero-cost arrows in his deck. We've seen Endless Arrow, Searing Shot, Bolt and Shot, Drill Shot. So just opting for the Endless Arrow here. Obviously, we are going to get a Ponder on the end of this as well. I'm just going to be threatening 4 damage. Coming in with this Endless Arrow. Obviously, if this hits, it goes back to hand, so it gives you a little bit of inevitability with a constant barrage of attacks. Andrew's sitting pretty on a 5-card hand at the moment with the Penetration script still in play. The Boom Grenade's going to go at the start of his turn. Hanabi Blaster might be able to be utilised next turn if he can push a lot of boost through. So, I mean, this is only 4 damage. Andrew's just like, yeah, okay, no worries at all. I've got a 5-card hand. I've got a breakpoint, an extra breakpoint on the Penetration script. But we are seeing a double use of Endless Arrow here through the Snappies and the Sharpshooters. So again, coming in for another 4. Daniel Gomez just overextending now to try and threaten Andrew. Andrew's just going to block with the Max V and take 1 damage. So I wonder if Andrew could have played that Max V this turn. We'll see. But this could spell danger for Daniel. But also for Andrew as well, because Andrew has to play into Riptide's traps. And being on 4 life, that is a tight rope to walk. So we're going to play another Cerebellum Processor. Andrew's seeing a lot of the sick cards this game. He's going to crank it, of course, to get the action point back. I'm going to activate Dash to access the top card of the deck. Pitching a Teklo Pounder to bring in the Penetration script. So we should have 2 floating at the moment after that Teklo Pounder being pitched. I'm going to crank the backup protocol red, so it just means Andrew's probably going to use this to gain an action back, an attack action back from his graveyard here. More great utilization of these items. Backup protocol red basically saying, yep, I'm an extra copy of whatever you want. Whatever you've used this game, I'm an extra copy of it. You can get it back at any time. So that's good to know. Of course, Andrew does have his action point still at the moment. We are going to crank. We are going to draw from Cerebellum Processor. He's cranked twice this turn. So now he's down to 1 action point off of the Cerebellum Processor draw a card. I believe so anyway. It's hard to keep track of action points sometimes. Now we're seeing the Zipper Hit Come in for 5 with go again because he's boosting. Or is he boosting? Or is he using his action point? He's boosting away. He's coming in for 5. Sorry, 6 because of the penetration script, of course. So that's going to get a lot of value over this turn, hopefully. I'm seeing a block for 3 with a Heat Seeker. Leaking 3 at the moment. I'm seeing a tar pit trap, so this is the danger zone that Andrew's going to get into. Pinging in for 1, fully blocked. Going down to 3. That's 3 more traps that Daniel needs to see. And Andrew is dead. And again, boosting away with Outpace. Coming in for 5 because of the penetration script. Riptide needs to find 3 more traps that trigger off of go again. Just seeing a full block on here with the Searing Shot and the Lacer Blood Rot. I think Daniel is very much in the camp of, I just need to block now. He's got the life lead. Just needs to find those traps that will trigger and ping Andrew to death here. But Andrew still does have go again. So he can still do some more stuff. Using the backup protocol red to go and get a Pulse Wave Harpoon, which is going to come in for 5 because of the penetration script. But that's all of the cards out of the hand. We've still got the Hanabi Blaster. So if there's a D-React in Daniel's arsenal, that's the only thing that can save him right now, right? Because this is coming in for 5. And then Hanabi Blast is going to come in for 5 as well. Yeah. Because that's going to get a counter. Because he's boosted 3 times. If he remembers to put the counter on the thing anyway. Yeah. Going down to 4. And the Hanabi Blaster should have a counter on it. Yeah, there we go. That is it. Surely. Unless there's a D-React in Daniel's arsenal. Needs to be at least a 3. A 3 D-React in the arsenal. Any D-React would save him. No, he's dead. Wow. Okay. There was an Endless Arrow in there from last turn. Oh, wow. That was a sick game. Towards the end there, I thought, Daniel might have this. He had the life lead established, and obviously playing into Andrew's low life total. Maybe he was just trying to draw those traps to ping him down, but Andrew was just going too fast. And obviously that Hanabi Blaster at the very end there, from all that go again, from all those action points, managed to seal the deal. Sick game. Awesome. We've got a couple more games left for round 4, and then we're going to be going into round 5 fairly quickly afterwards. While we wrap up this league, and it's been great so far though, but as I said at the top of the show, you want to help support us, do all the good stuff, and we'll see it continue for many seasons to come, hopefully. But thanks very much for your time. We'll see you soon, all over again here on Go Again Gaming, the league that means nothing. See you later. Goodbye.